Hey, what up, what up, what up? It was the homie Pedro. Had a pretty good day today, kind of. Um, my fiance of 1 year today. I was just curious, so went through her phone and found out that I was no longer a contact, just the number. And hadn't gone through her phone for months, and not even months, years. It was 3 years ago. I went through her phone once, and she was trash talking to me really bad to her friend, and then like being nice to me. And I always leave my phone. I don't care who looks at my phone. I got nothing on it. Um, so I'm gonna talk about emotional abuse and how bad emotional abuse is and different forms of it. So I'm gonna start off with things that my exes have told me. Ones that cheated on me. I remember I caught this one girl cheating on me. Thank gosh I didn't have a kid with her. When I confronted her, she minimized it by saying, "At least I used a condom. Like it's not that bad. At least I used a condom." Then I found out she was basically sleeping with the neighborhood, which was embarrassing. Um, and she would. I remember she left her messenger open, and she had falsely accused me of domestic violence, and then hit up her ex afterwards. So, um, I had another one accusing me of trying to sleep with her sister. Another one accused me of trying to sleep with her mother, and her mother was like, "This is the same one as the first that yeah that would get me in jail for no reason." And her mother was in her 70s. Like it's like I mean yeah, I can get with an older woman like 10 years older than me. I'm 47 or 37. I wouldn't mind dating middle age, whatever. I always thought that way. A lot of them are just more mature and have more interesting things to talk about. But I I I don't know how much I would have in common with someone in their 70s. Um, let's see. Today, I was told that it was my fault that my exes cheated on me. Both my son's moms. Um, I know I wrote uh, in one of my previous things about accountability, but that's for yourself in MRT. You can't be like, oh, I did this because of this person. And that I couldn't say that they had cheated on me first. Um, just the craziest things. I remember I used to go through Walmart with my older son's mom, and I wouldn't even look at anybody. And then we go home, and she's like, "Oh, I saw the way you were looking at that girl," and these would be huge arguments. Like, well, not really arguments, just me sitting out the clock, just being like, why did I let this person live with me? And my my 50-50 fiance, I'll just put it that way, 50-50, flip the coin and see which way it lands. The only way she apologized was because my living situation right now, her and I moved in to help her brother out. Her brother was cheated on. Her brother's wife, and her brother's a solid dude. The wife walked out on him and his three kids. Met somebody online, walked out on them. And I didn't even have to say anything to her. I just walked away, walked into our room, just closed the door. Like I was like, I'm not even engaging in this. I'll let her think about her own doing, her own wrong. And not only that, when you label someone a number, and I found this out when I first went to jail, is that is one of the most dehumanizing things. They label you a number and then they'll call you by your last name. I only had one guard call me by my first name. I think she had a crush on me. Um, and then there's little telltale signs, right? Like my 50-50 fiance, she has no problem with public affection unless it started with her friend, her single friend, right? And then also her going back in the office. Now she works at a prestigious place, stuff like that. They handle various accounts, people you've seen in the news. Um, yeah, I'll just put it that way. Well, one owns a sports team, and then various athletes. And she wouldn't like she would be lovey dovey unless it was me dropping her off at work, and I'd be like, "Hey, can I get a hug?" Hey, I love you. Have a good day. And she would treat me like a total stranger, like I was embarrassing to her. But the biggest thing that of emotional abuse is when I got my son from the res and I finally started seeing him again, is when the distancing started happening. And I started noticing she was jealous of my relationship with my son. That's one of the hardest things about being a single parent. I'm sure a man and woman can relate to this. It is difficult. And my other son, I don't hit him. I don't hit either of my sons. I've never hit either of my sons. I don't believe in it. I believe in more of a therapy approach. Um, I had I've been disciplined when I was a kid when I needed to, but there was also a lot of beatings that I didn't deserve. That. So when I hear a kid getting beat up, you know, and it's called being censored or disciplined, that ain't cool. Because little kids are hyper. They just want, they want attention, whether it's good attention or bad attention. If they're getting attention from a parent or a parental figure, that means they want attention. They don't want to get beat with a belt daily. And something I kept telling her about, I was like, hey, you should work on this. Nothing. Hey, maybe we can go for a walk. I went with a walk with her, right? She was cussing me out the whole time. Her mom came out to visit from American Samoa. She's cussed me out the whole time. And then we came back and I had to play it cool in front of the mom. Like nothing happened. Also, there's double standards. Double standards, big time, if someone's being emotionally abusive to you. Like, say, for instance, with me, I've had exes, I would bend over backwards for their family. If I found out their family was in anything, I would go to family functions. I would do all this stuff. I have a special needs cousin and aunt who call me every week asking when I'm going to visit them again. Last time I saw them was Christmas Eve. But her family functions, she's mad if I don't go to 4 or 5 a week. Not only that, I'm an introvert, always have been. So it's hard for me. There's only so many Haliki Loas, I could meet when there's like 200 people. It's hard to remember names. And then I get grilled on, how come you don't remember this person's name? It's like, well, I got introduced to 20, 30 people each time I see somebody at a gathering. It's kind of difficult. And then her recently her nephews went to go learn haka, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, but I don't want to go anywhere because I've been sick ever since my stomach surgery. I've been sick. See, mine, Mine wasn't an elective surgery. It was something that I had to have to save my life. Elective in the way that yeah, I was drinking a lot. I shouldn't have been doing that, but not in the way that oh, I want to have a cosmetic surgery. So the elective one, the cosmetic surgery, that's gastric bypass, but the actual medical procedure is called subtext gastrectomy. Same thing, slightly different. Well, same thing. It's kind of like how um, Viagra was initially for like blood pressure or something like that, but then they found out, oh, it has other benefits. Um, oh, they'll sabotage your success. They will sabotage your success. So there's been times where there was one time she had Galentine's Day, and I was like, babe, it's really important like that I make it to work on time. I'm like, it's not like I have a criminal record. Like anybody that knows that if you have a criminal record, especially something like robbery, you are on such a tight leash. And when someone promises you, like, oh yeah, 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 I'll come by and pick you up, and I'm like, it's really important. I'm gonna call you 6 a.m. It's really important, and then they don't get a hold of you till 8 p.m. the next day, and then you have to explain to them, hey, yeah, I lost my job because I kept saying, hey, she should be here any moment now. Like, I don't know. Because it wasn't driving distance. I mean, it wasn't walking distance. And so there's that. So, yeah, the codependency thing, that is definitely my fault. And I don't know. We were both going through rough times. My friend had passed away, and her sister had passed away. And when my friend passed away, it was you know, it was November 9th the other day, 2 days ago. And I remember telling her that not only that my dad was in the hospital. She looked at me like she didn't even care. Like she didn't even care. Like it was just something else. Anything bad happens to her, it's the end of the world. And then also, here's another thing: they will bring up old stuff from years ago that are small, and they'll stick with that. So she thinks I'm a fan of Andrew Tate. I said there's one thing I agree with Andrew Tate on is that every man should learn mixed martial arts. That's just a belief that I have. I think that every man should learn mixed martial arts because it helps build confidence. Helps build confidence, character, toughness. I just don't know where to go from here because having like 2 hours of being chewed out, called a manipulator, love bomber, blame shifter, all this stuff. And also the reason I read that to you guys was because she got into my stuff and I'm thinking like why is she nosy? So this is another way of finding out you're in an abusive relationship or a girl's cheating on you or a significant other as they'll start looking for a reason and they'll start accusing you of cheating, no matter how crazy it is. I've had two different exes, including my 50-50 one. She thinks I slept with my cousin, which is nasty as hell. The other one, she thought I slept with my other cousin because we were trying to plan a family reunion because our family never gets together unless it's funerals ever since my grandma died. And man, it is crazy the amount of like women you have to admit there is a certain level of crazy that you are. And she even thinks like she's like, "Oh, you hate all women. You hate all women." It's like, how do I hate all women? I dropped everything I got to for her niece, my niece as well, who she's never met because I mean, it's not important, right? Um my cousins, stuff like that. The cousin she thinks that I was sleeping with, my cousin was going through a rough time. I suggested that she go to AA. As far as I know, she's been sober for over a year. I haven't talked to her for over a year. So she was going through a rough patch. She was drinking and driving all the time. I was afraid for her safety. My dia hit me up, was like, hey, you know, and people were just like, yeah, she's drunk all the time. So, and one thing I know is like two addicts can't hang around each other. Otherwise, they'll partake, especially if it's the same DOC, drug of choice. But yeah, I mean, the pain is real because it's like, no matter what, and I see this all the time, man losing out. There's Dapper Dev, Dapper Dev dude, and he talks about a lot of times like there's he made a video just not too long ago about there's just nothing in it for marriage and guys these days. And I'm telling you, I found a family oriented girl with a strong dad who still came up with excuses to isolate me from my family and to basically isolate me from her own family and then just make me like the scapegoat, you know? Maybe it's that I'm not Mormon. I have my own reasons. I've been locked up with Mormons. A lot of them end up being kid touchers. Well, the ones that are that they get a free pass, that all of a sudden they're out in like 8 hours, and the ones that aren't get dealt with. But I've seen this time and time again. I mean, the only thing that really counts is like what power do you have via religion, because it's IRS exempt, which goes back to the ultimate power and the ultimate colors. It's not black, it's not white, it's not Hispanic, brown, it's not Asian, it's not that. It's green. Everybody knows that. An amount of times I sacrificed, like last Christmas, I've said this before online. I spent 4 grand on Christmas. 1 grand of it was on um between my cousin, like a grand 500 between my cousin, male cousin, the special needs one, and bought him a PS5. Um, and then I bought my son um, a whole wardrobe, got him a haircut, all that stuff, and I got him some Xbox stuff. So maybe close to 2 grand. The remainder of the money spent on her, spent on spent on her nephews, stuff like that. I got my brother something that's like $20, and I got my nephew, J Dog. I got him about $50 worth of stuff. But other than that, I mean, majority of spending went towards her family in this household. If there's not that much food around, I just won't eat. I'll go days without eating because I want to make sure that those kids eat. And so to be like, I don't sacrifice certain things. And oh, back to the surgery thing. So she had two family members that had that surgery, and she had the utmost pity stuff, at least respect for them. And I'll never forget something her sister said. Her sister said when she was around here, she felt like off on herself because of how depressed it made her feel. And that surgery will make you feel depressed. I mean, for like the first month, I was only able to walk about a block. You know, um, couldn't eat anything, just protein shakes. And after like 6 weeks, I got some string cheese and some refried beans. Everybody's different. And then I started going to classes, started doing good. Might have one little slip up and that's it. And it wouldn't be anything serious. I wouldn't lose a job over it. But then when I would lose a job, a lot of times, like let's say this last job, they ran my background. So they hired me and then ran my background. So anybody who has a background knows that that can happen. So they hired me. Everything was cool for a couple of days, and then boom, fired me. Hey, no, we talked to people, upper management. We just figured it'd be a better idea. That's why when you see a lot of these people with criminal backgrounds, they have to start running their own companies. A lot of them run their own companies. And just to put this more in perspective, I have a friend. He hit me up. Sorry, this is a long, long video. He hit me up. He got cheated on. He's with his lady for 15 years. She stole the gold out of his safe, his gun, a bunch of other stuff that he had, and his he has a motorcycle, but he also has a normal like Jeep Cherokee. She took that and left the state. He lives in Montana, and man, it's to the point where I'm ashamed to tell my family. None of my family knows I have a YouTube, so I'm just on here telling strangers. So if you're going through these things, there's a good chance that they're cheating on you. So remember, the guarding the phone, that's a dead giveaway. They'll start demoralizing everything that you do. They'll invalidate you because they want to break you down, right? They want to break you down. The double standards, the lack of accountability, the manipulation of certain things like employments to further trap you. I mean, she loves me when I have money. Loves me. Last year I had around around this time I had 18 grand and then I had about 6 grand in cash. So I had about 24 grand. Right now I have nowhere close to that. Car got towed the other day. Lack of communication. I asked her, hey, did you put the tags on the car? I'm just wondering. She's like, nah. Well, she didn't even say nah. She just looked at me. I'm like, okay, well, and I've been on this thing where I walk around a lot. Like if I can, I will walk to a place. Like if I'm hungry or something, I'll go walk somewhere to go eat, go walk and get a fountain drink. I'll go walk. Because it's healthier and it helps clear my mind. And turns out, sure enough, it was taken a couple of days ago. The brother saw the notice, like, hey, if tag's not put on in 24 hours, but here's the lack of communication. He didn't even tell her. He was just lack of communication. And then it fell back on me. And yeah. Also, yeah, if you get blamed for everything, and if you try to make it work, and no matter what, it's not working, just don't make it work. Yeah. Any advice would be much appreciated. Like, share, subscribe. Maybe helping somebody going through the same thing. Tell you what, man, this heartbreak, it hurts so much. But at least I know at the end of the day, I have my son to talk to. I have his number. I can call him. You know, it took me ever for it to forgive his mom. Because to be honest, after she had cheated on me and did all that domestic violence stuff, like basically ruined me. Because like the robbery, you think robbery's the hard one. No, when people see that you have domestic violence, they think, oh, woman beater, right away. And it was just a way to alienate me from my son. And then she waited until she found another person. That's why it hurt so bad when she told me it was my fault for getting cheated on. Because I had to explain to her through tears, that my son's life, his whole trajectory was changed because of that. My trajectory was changed because I was cheated on. Everyone's trajectory was changed. And I didn't even have to mention her brother. And these kids that haven't seen their mom for years. But, of course, the double standard, right? Sorry for being a little dark in this one. I just had to get that off my chest. I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack. One love. Peace out. Stay safe.